All right, guys, this is the first episode of the Kryptonite Academy podcast where we look at individual characters in the game and talk about the pros and cons, the matchups, and what have you. We look at the text, how to beat it, how to use it, situational purposes, and also an in-depth character guide into the BNBs and basically how to use this character. And for this first episode, I got Lord of the Fly here at my house, but all the other ones will be done online because not everyone lives near my house. We got Lord of the Fly who's going to do Saul and Grundy. So here's Lord of the Fly.
How's it going, everybody? Glad to be here. The only character I really use in this game is Grundy. I use Arrow a little bit, but this would be, I think, the good opportunity to start the Kryptonite Academy. So I'm going to start just by giving you guys what I use as my main BNBs for him. I'm going to move into some matchup strategies, how to overcome some of Grundy's weaknesses, and move into some tech, some high damage, some corner situations, and just take it from there. So to start, I just want to go ahead and show you my BNBs that I focus on in a match. I mean, everybody has their own style, and that style is good. I don't do any of this stuff. I don't do any of that. It's to me, it's something else to think about that distracts from my game. But I'm just going to go ahead and show you some of my mains. So right there, I always do that 28% plus the trait grab, the health gives you 31. So we're talking a 60, 59% bread and butter for one bar. If you want to do a little bit more damage, if you have an extra bar, you get 40% starter into your 31% trade grab. We're talking 70%. So an extra 10% for an extra bar. It could be worth it. Really, I don't want to do that unless I know I'm going to kill them, because that last little bit of health is annoying for Grundy, who can take away so much damage. You don't want to spend meter on 20% if you don't have to. I mean, if I do this and that kills you, I wasted a bar for 28% when I could have done 113 into a 1-1 trait grab for 35 and for no meter. So really you want to make sure you know where your opponent's life bar is. After I get him to a certain extent, let's say he's right about here, that's when I know it's safe to go for my metered combos into big damage and take away their life bar. And I didn't time it exactly right there, but it gives you an idea of what I want to do in what situations. So those are my 1 and 2 bar BNBs that I focus on. If I'm in the corner, I usually go for something into this. 1 back 2. Right there. So you notice that's 57%. So if I actually get 1-1-2 into meter burn swamp hands, jump 2, missed it. So 2 bars a meter in the corner gets to me 68%. Very worth it. In the corners where you want to keep them. So, when you're in the corner, you want to keep them there. Especially if you want to jump over to get the jump 2 extra 7% on your combos. Always want to end by throwing it back in the corner. The fact that he combos off of this is really dumb, but actually it's not dumb. He needs it. Moving on. That's my main 2 bar corner BNB. I also will do combos for 1 bar. I'll do 1-1-3, 1-1 meter burn swamp hands, jump 2, back 1, reset into trade grab. 27% plus a 31 here. You're still getting 60%. So why don't we work? This is a fancy combo I've been working on just to show you guys. Got it on my first try. I'm really happy about that. 75%, 3 bars. I end up building a bar back during the combo, so it ends up only costing you 2. I'm sure there's more damage that you can do, but for swag, you can't beat that. You could also start it with, not that. You can start it with the link. It's got a 2-frame link from back 1 meter burn. I did it. And I dropped that part. So I would get an extra like 20%. It ends up being like 90, 95%. It's pretty awesome. Recommend you try that out.
So when we post this video, I'm going to have Lord the Fly write out all the notations for all these combos. And let's go back to some basic stuff as well. Talk about his jump in 1, 2, and 3, why you would use them. Give me different situations you would use the 1, 2, or 3. And also explain the difference between his trait grab does he have different trait grabs, and talk
a little bit. His best normals that I use in the neutral game, just so that we're really starting with the basics. Standing 2, best range out of all his normals, can be canceled into Walking Corpse, which can be canceled. Standing 1, very good. I think this is 12 frames, and Standing 2 is 13 frames. Standing 2 is also +2 on block, which is good to know. He needs those positive frames because his normals are so slow. Forward 1, great low starter. That can be used into big combo. Jumping attacks. Jumping 1. Actually, I don't usually ever jump with him unless I'm desperate. But jumping 1 can be used as a good crossover. It doesn't give you any advantage on block, so you get blown up on the ground once you land. But with his armor options, you can a lot of times you can beat their punish attempts because you can almost do an armor move immediately when you land, absorb whatever their attack is, and body them for it. On block, his standing or jumping 2 is actually like +20. So on block, you can link a string afterwards that cannot be interrupted. So on block, they have to guess between the 50-50 between the overhead of back 1 or the low of forward 1. Kind of like how Flash jump into 50-50. Grundy has a similar option, but his jump is so floaty that a lot of times you'll get backdashed the moment you touch the air, or they'll jump out of the way. So best advice is to stay grounded. You don't necessarily want to be in the air if you can stay away from that. Jumping 3, I only use in like a back 3 combo. That might be the only option I use it for, because I've seen Tyrant do it in the corner. Well, he'll do instant jump 3. I think it's a little gimmicky. Props for Tyrant. He's better than me, so if it works for him, it probably is a good tactic. So I just don't know enough about it to comment.
You think the range might be a big plus because of it in the corner?
Yeah, I mean, it probably goes over a lot of attacks. It keeps it in the air a good long time. And it's overhead, so if they're
plus on block.
No, I don't think it's plus on block, but let me just confirm that. Jumping 3 is -10 on block.
Oh, wow.
Jumping 2 is +35 on block.
What?
Yep.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, +35
is that
on block.
legit?
It's probably not quite that much, to be honest with you.
35?
That's what it says.
Jesus.
And then jumping 1 is -18 on block.
That's interesting.
Hit, it's -6.
What's his down 1?
His down 1?
Mm-hmm.
Down 1, hit is +19, block is +3. So
no, his block is +3. Oh, hit
yeah,
is +19.
hit is +19. So these attacks, back 1 is like 23 frames, forward 1 is 22 frames. So if he's +19, those are options that you get almost a 50-50. They have to meter burn armor out of it, or they could dash out of the back 1. They cannot backdash out of the forward 1-3. It'll launch them every single time if they try to backdash. So if you can land a down 1, you get a free 50-50 essentially. They have to either backdash away from the back 1 or block low and risk that. The reason why I like Grundy and grapplers in general is because, let's say you guess the 50-50 right, I can just grab you and it's unblockable, so, good game. It just gives them another option to worry about, and because of that, usually what people will do is just jump. And they jump because they know that the gravity scaling will change and your combo will most likely whiff. So as a Grundy player, it's really important to know how to modify your combos in order to land the resets even when you've caught them midair. A lot of times after a down one, you'll catch them as they're trying to jump. So if they're trying to jump, why don't you help me with this, Brand?
All right.
So just neutral jump for me. Didn't work. You can land as like an anti-air down one as they're rising off the ground, and you can still get the reset. By doing 1-1 meter burn swamp hands. Cost a bar meter, you only get 13% instead of the 17 into combo, but it's better than nothing.
Talk about the walking corpse cancel, the uses of it, how to blow it up, and how broken it is.
So every grappler in every fighting game has to have a way to get in, because these characters are built to be strong up close and weak from a distance. So Grundy's option is walking corpse. So this is a move that has no meter, but has 3 hits of armor associated with it. So why don't we give them an example? Apparently we suck at giving examples. So you see him doing multiple hit projectiles, and I can walking corpse straight through it. Get the grab. If I meter burn it, throws him over my head, gives me massive advantage, and does 20% damage. The best thing about this is that it's cancelable. You can cancel it by hitting down back in any direction. You can link it off of any move. And some strings on hit into walking corpse cannot be jumped. For example, I'm going to talk more about this later, but neutral jump for me, okay? Oops. That's jump after I hit you, okay?
Yeah.
So standing 2 into walking corpse cannot be neutral jump. Now, you can blow this up by angle jumping, so jump forward or backwards after I hit you. So if you jump back or jump forward, you can get out of it. The good thing that Grundy can do is he can cancel it and then punish your attempt to move away. But being able to cancel it allows him to get in on zoners where without that he never would have a chance. For example, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, Superman, Sinestro, even Nightwing and Eskrima or Staff. You can't get in unless you use armor to some extent. So pretty much all of his specials have armor. Meter Burn Cleaver has armor. Meter Burn Swamp Hands have armor, both 1 hit. He's got armor here, he's got armor there, he's got Walking Corpse, and I think those are his only attacks that have armor.
You don't show the thing like, oh, what about Walking Corpse down 2?
So his fastest normal is 8 frames and it's down 2. So this move many people think is stupid, but it has virtually like no horizontal hitbox. Like I'm right here and I can't hit Zod. Every single other one of my attacks will hit him, but my down 2 has a small horizontal hitbox but a very large vertical hitbox. So if anybody jumps over you at any angle, the down 2 will always hit. That saves him in a lot of situations, but in the neutral game, he will get beat out if anybody else, like if I try to down 1 you, you'll win the down 1. Because my down 1 is like 9 frames, 10 frames, everybody else is like 6, maybe 7. His fastest attack is to go into that. Now, down 2 gives him a lot of options. He can obviously, after a jump, he can do a reset, like 1-1 meter burn swamp hands to land you on the ground, but he can also tick throw it by doing down 2 trait grab. He can also cancel it into a special, like down 2 walking corpse. If I can, there you go. And you saw how on the ground, if you hit it, it actually connects as a combo. If they're crouching. Crouch for me again. But, well, it's weird. If they're in a ducking state and you actually hit them, like in recovery frames, you'll actually be able to connect the walking corpse. Anyways, let's talk about his trait real quick. His trait is very unique. It's what kind of drew me to the character. Move list, character power. He's got what we call the pain chain. It's different properties based on different chain links that you do once you grab them. So once you activate his pain chain, you can do one of three things. You can either increase his damage by doing a power chain, increase his health or stamina by using the health chain, or you can do defense or what we call the chip. Actually, I think, yeah, this one's the chip, which decreases the amount of damage he takes by about 10 times. So against zoners, this one is a lifesaver because you can have a character like Deathstroke or Green Lantern just chip you. You might have the life lead, but they don't have to come in because they can just continue to zone you, take away your life, and win on a timeout because you don't have the ability to take any chip damage. When you have this active, they cannot take away your life lead. It's almost impossible to do so. It forces them to come to you, and it changes the dynamic of the game. A 7-3 matchup might be before chip trade is activated. Once activated, that 7-3 becomes a 5-5 because Grundy zoning is pretty much useless. So the ability to get his trait active early on in a match is vital to a Grundy player being able to overcome certain matchups that are difficult, like the ones I mentioned, Hawkgirl and Lantern and Nightwing and all those zoners, Sinestro. Can't forget Sinestro, can I? Mm-hmm. Definitely not. Anyways, that's his trait grab. Very important to understand how that works. Now, Grundy has setups off of a lot of his strings into hard knockdowns. Hard knockdowns for Grundy are where he creates pressure. You know, in other games, you know, like Cage in Mortal Kombat was all about keeping them standing into frame traps. Grundy is about knocking them down and making them guess a 50-50, and he has multiple ways he can do that. His sweep is a hard knockdown. So when I do that, I can do an overhead attack or I can do a low as they're getting up. The only thing that will get them out of that is a wake-up attack. So I want you to do a wake-up attack for me, okay? Now, I blow up his wake-up attack with Walking Corpse because it doesn't require meter, it has 3 hits of armor, and it's like a no-brainer to do this. Okay, you're getting fancy, aren't you? With the right timing, you can blow up virtually any wake-up attack in the game. Even characters like Nightwing that have a 4-hit staff spin, if you wait until the second hit to activate your Walking Corpse, you can blow it up entirely. Yeah, parry is not going to work because it's a grab. Like, you can't parry the end of this grab. That's unparryable. His trait grab is parryable. You can parry that. So if I were to do on a block string, you can parry.
Do a kick.
That's not really a tick throw that I would do. It's not really a good setup. Anyways, just so you know, his trait grab is parryable. Even though we are not good at displaying that, it is very much parryable. Killer Frost can do it. Batman can do it. Zod can do it. Joker can do it. Anybody with a parry can do it. So off a hard knockdown, he gets a 50-50. So that 50-50 can be very powerful because, again, if they decide they want to block, you can always just blow them up with the grab, or you can get into his tick throws. Now, that's what I want to talk about next is a grapple character. Tick throws are essential. It's a mind game to make your opponent guess when you're going to try to grab them. So I'm going to move to the corner just so that Brant's not walking backwards as I am trying to do tick throws. So he has a few tick throws that I prefer. Just hold back for me, Brant. Standing 1 into trait grab is probably one of the most often used ones that I use. 1-1-2 is another one of the most common ones I use because they can neutral jump that and full combo punish you, but try to neutral jump after that when I would do the trait grab, Brant. After the last hit. So what I did was I did another throw that picked him out of the air. So because he made a read and I made the read that he was going to jump, I was able to get, you know, a big combo off of it. Other tick throws that I really like are 1-back-2. In the corner, 1-back-2 is probably the best move in the game. In the corner, it makes Grundy a nightmare because it's a tick throw. Don't get cute. Okay, it's a tick throw that is you have to guess. I could do 1 tick throw, or I could do 1 back 2 tick throw. Now let it hit. It doesn't really matter. If it hits, I still get the damage, and I mean that's a good chunk. We're talking 38% because you tried to jump after the 1 instead of the 1-2. 1 back 2. All right, there we go. So another option to get out of it is to do back 3, forward 3. I want to talk a lot more about back 3, forward 3 in just a second because that is a universal way to make his throws a lot more difficult to use. So going on to tick throws, you have down 2 and a tick throw. You have down 1 tick throw. And all of these can be set up after a hard knockdown or once you get them blocking. So a lot of times what I'll do is I won't go into a full combo. I'll do a string into walking corpse cancel. For example, I'll do 2 walking corpse cancel, 1 grab. Or after a reset, let's say I get meter burn, swamp hands, jump 2, back 1, and then 1 trade throw. So there's a lot of ways that you can set up tick throws, but the important thing is to be creative and not to do the same ones over and over again. One more that I forgot is duck low for me. Forward 1, 3. There's also forward 1, 2. Both of those are good tick throws. I would stick to one of those, but not necessarily use both because they look the same. The animations really don't change. So those are the main tick throws that I use, and especially in the corner, 1 back 2. And that's also, instead of doing 1-1 after combos, that always does more damage, the 1 back 2. Alright, so let's talk about how to blow Grundy up for a minute, because that's the question that I always get when I play somebody who doesn't know the matchup. The easiest way to blow Grundy up is to master your forward 3, back 3 usage. So if I try to walking corpse you and just grab you, if you back 3, you don't even have to meter burn it. You'll be able to get out of it. Don't hold it, just let it go. On reaction. You're doing it at the same time, do it on reaction. Wait a little bit longer. It's on the wind-up.
Oh. What? Back up. Go.
Alright, no, I think I just learned something. Some characters are airborne during forward 3s and back 3s. If Zod isn't airborne, that's awesome for Grundy.
Try it again.
Alright, so the meter burn version worked, and that will always work. But I'm not sure why the regular version didn't work. Anyways, moving on.
We should try that. We should try an air one real quick.
We should do what?
We should do an air guy real quick.
Yeah, like if you were to do...
Black Adam.
Yeah, we'll try that.
I want to try a floater right now. That's interesting. That could change a lot of things. Is Sinestro a floater?
Yeah, I think so.
Is he? Yeah, all right.
You would know.
Well, I don't like how he walks. I'm focusing on like waist above.
I gotcha.
That's my problem. Annoying button lock.
But where is
above you?
Oh, okay, there it is.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right. Go. Oops. Wait, what? That's not right. What? It's saying what? That's not right. I'm not hitting that button. It's a glitch in the game.
Try a different one.
Anyway.
Try custom 3 or 2.
Let me check my buttons real quick, huh?
Button check for videos,
Yeah,
guys.
right.
Button checks for
Yeah.
informational videos.
crap.
Usually people do that as a safety precaution.
Dude, that was a bill of goods. You blew me up every time.
Gruff Bundy, guys. Gruff Bundy. But you can also do the same thing on his trait grab.
Do it again.
So,
watch this. Never mind. Haha.
There you go. All right, you win. You can also do it off for trait grab. So if I go into, 1-1-2 trait grab, so try meter burning back 3 after that. Or regular.
Works there.
It's because all these moves have throw immune frames. So if there's throw immune frames, it should completely negate all those. And we don't know all of them. I know 4-3 and back throw should be universal ways to do that, but there are definitely other ways to do it as well. And that's pretty easy. But
what? That's weird.
The other thing that I can do is to blow his attempt at punishing. Or I can do... I can do a walking corpse cancel into my own meter burn attack, like back 3 or 4-3.
Do that thing on me. There you go. Do the thing that you were doing on me all the time when I push block you off of me.
Alright, so here's a fun trick. Walking corpse is good for not just getting in, not just tricking up your opponent, but it's really, really good for negating push block attempts. So a lot of times after you do a back 1 attempt, right, so when I go for the trait reset, I go into back 1, into trait grab, then what I can do is wait for them to try to push block. So I want you to let me do a combo on you. I'm going to end it in swamp hands, jump to back 1, and then just push block afterwards. Okay. All right? So you saw where he push blocked. I did standing 1, and then he push blocked me immediately. So just start push blocking from right here. So you saw what I just did. I walking corpse canceled through his push block. So if he does that, I can get a trait grab out of it. Do it again. Are you blocking?
Yeah, that was a punish.
So that's a punish.
That was a clean punish.
So I want you to think about this for a second, guys. Let me combo you for a second. I'm going to do full damage combo, and then just push block the first chance you get.
Okay. That was a full punish.
So I could just completely reset the combo. I'm going to do it one more time. So I can keep doing it. It's essentially full combo punishing a push block attempt. Now, even mid-screen, I'm not sure what you can get, but I want to try it. So just crouch block for me, and then try to push block, and I'm going to do the same thing.
That was clean. That was a punish. That was definitely a punish. I was blocking.
So, okay, we just had a breakthrough, guys. So being able to punish push block when you anticipate them doing a push block, don't go into your full string or to a trait grab or tick throw. Just walking corpse cancel, blow up their push block, and then full combo punish them and put them in the same position again. It's really going to make them second guess when to push block, and it's going to give you a really powerful advantage in the matchup.
Can you talk about that thing that you do, that stink thing that you do at the end of combos?
So when I set up tick throws, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll end my combo with the jump to back 1 enhanced grave rot. The reason why is if I'm quick enough, there's a 2-frame gap I can do. Link it to a combo, which you saw me do earlier in the video. So knowing that that's hard to do, I don't really go for it. Instead, what I'll do is I'll do that. I'll do the back 1 meter burn grave rot into 1 back 2. Because the grave rot is going to add a ton of damage to my throw. This throw that I just did normally does like 25. We'll see here right now. Does 28%. So if I have meter burn, grave rot, it's gonna do like 50.
What?
45. 49.
Oh my god.
So by activating your enhanced grave rot off of a naked back 1, you're gonna do an extra 2.4% damage as it's activated during the throw. I use the power trait grab because it keeps them closer to my body longer and it does more damage. So when you have the ability to set up a back 1, you're never going to get a chance to set this up in the neutral game because it's so slow. It's got good range, but it's like 23 frames, and it's easy to jump away from it when up. So I set it up off meter burn ground, hands into jump to back 1. And even if they're blocking, they still have to guess when the tick throw is going to happen. See, even the one that does more damage, the health trait grab does the most damage, but it did the same amount of damage as the meter burn grave rot with power chain. So just some information for you there to hold on to.
Let me ask you about this. Off of hard knockdowns, I see a lot of Grundys. Let's go back to the center.
Oops, wait a minute.
Yeah. There you go. They do a lot of neutral jump too on wake up to make ambiguous cross ups. What do you know about that?
All right, so we got walking corpse meter burn. What this does is it gives Grundy an amazing opportunity to get on your opponent and make a cross up ambiguous. Made famous by Tyrant, what I just did was meter burn, walking corpse, dash twice, change stance, and then neutral jump. So it makes it hard for them to tell which side of the body I'm on. Wake up attacks many times will whiff because they don't know which direction to do it, and even if they guess right, many times there's a forward hitbox and not a vertical hitbox. So when you do that, you can set up, obviously you can set up another combo. You can do that, or you can set up a tick throw. So just block the overhead and then just crouch.
Okay.
So it hit, but then I would just do a tick throw into one grab and get the damage anyways. That throw does 20%, and this grab does 30%. So we're talking 50% there. And it's a complete guess and read on their part. Many times I will take a safer route. I'll do regular grave rot dash, and then as they're getting up, I'll make them guess between forward 1, 3, forward 3, or back 1. Forward 3 and back 1 being overheads, forward 1, 3 being a low.
Can you talk about how Grundy blows up interactables?
All right, throw something at me.
All right, here comes the 10 Commandments.
So, walking corpse.
You didn't even need meter to do that.
No, I don't need meter for that, but I still take the damage. So that's the sucky part.
Now watch this over here. I'm going to spend meter to get you off of me, and watch what happens. You took 22, but what am I about to take?
A lot.
So all because I made a good read, I take 54. I
did the wrong combo. I could have taken a lot more than that.
Yeah, you could have taken like 70. That's
yeah.
crazy.
So Brand makes a very good point. The walking corpse cancel is always good, blowing up wake ups, blowing up interactables. But at the end of the day, what Grundy's about, he needs to stay up close. The problem that Grundy players have, after a trait throw, which is how every Grundy player ends their combos, you have now created a lot of space. And this is a problem for Grundy, because now he has to work to get back in, which can be difficult. Even though Walking Corpse is a great tool, I got beat at Atlanta Combat Arena last night by Brant Sinestro, zoning me out. After I bodied your Zod, yes. But what I will do many times to keep my opponent close to me is I will end all my combos, sacrificing a little bit of damage for untechable knockdowns that keep them close to me. And the way you can do that is you can end combos in sweep, but I prefer to end them in the anti-air throw. So it gives me tons of advantage. still have to guess with the 50-50. And they have to wake up attack to get out. And if they try to wake up attack, do me a wake up attack here, okay? After I knock you down.
Alright.
So you can blow it up with any meter burn attack, any walking corpse, whatever you want to do. And they're back in the same positions. So the next time you do it, they're going to block or guess wrong in 50-50, and you'll be able to do it again. So when you do this move right here, it's a 5-frame anti-air throw. It beats every air attack in the game. It beats cross-ups. It beats Doomsday jump 3. I want to show them that. Doomsday's jump 3 is jump down. What is it?
Jump down 3.
Down 3 has got nothing on Grundy's anti-air throw. This also is what drew me to Grundy, because he was able to blow up Doomsday's jump down 3.
Human button log off.
Man, so needy. I'm just kidding.
I don't know why the game's doing this. Stupid game.
See, even my uppercut won't. Well, it will if I'm early enough. Many times it'll trade and I'll get hit. But if I do the anti-air throw, it is no problem at all. Even if he crosses me up doing it. It's really, really easy to avoid that. It kind of gets rid of the BS. And the best thing about it is once he does it, do it again. It puts me in a situation to get huge damage.
What can you do? What can you do about Doomsday's meter burn venom? Can you just walk and corpse it?
So do it for me. I can't if I make a read. See, I can't even make the read when I'm like know it's coming. So if I know it's coming, I can. But I can't meter burn in between the two. Really, the best thing for me to do is that.
Trait grab?
Yeah, it's a meter burn trait grab. So this is going into like some advanced tactics that we really need to talk about. But it's harder than you realize. I'm not trying to push block. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm holding the meter burn button and I'm mashing out 4 and letting go of block in between the first and the second hit. And it might depend on when they do the meter burn.
Sometimes I'm delaying it on purpose.
Right. He's not even letting me do it.
That's interesting.
But anyways, it's possible. It's just, it's new, it's hard, and those frames are very hard to do consistently. The best option is to push block the meter burn portion.
Yeah, trade
like
a bar
that.
for a bar.
Right, trade a bar for a bar, and then walking corpse in. And maybe if you're lucky, you get the walking corpse to come as soon as he starts to do it, and then you get a full combo. You can also do it. Here, I gotta show this. He's got certain matchups that are just very difficult to deal with. So if you can use the to the grave tech that I just showed you to keep him close to you, keep the zoners from getting space, use your meter to create 50-50 situations they can't get out of, then you have a much better chance of defeating the stronger zoners in this game. I'm going to Green Lantern because I want to show you guys something very specific with his back 1-3. There is a gap in it, and you can meter burn trait grab it, which is vital. So let me put this on human. Meter button log off. Stupid controller.
Oh
Oh no. Okay, good. All right, so do back 1-3 for me. So this is a very key thing to master as a Grundy player against characters like him. Know the gaps in the strings that your opponents have and blow them up with that. Because now I have my chip trait active, which means that his attacks don't do any damage to me. All of his projectiles are 10 times less. So he burns a bar of meter and it does 0.4% damage.
Great.
Look how much life he's taken away. My trait grab did that much damage and he hasn't even come close to matching the damage yet. Now, this is very important to note because if you can get a Green Lantern to make that mistake one time, you get your meter burn trait grab, you get your chip out. Many times what I'll do is I will just let the timer go and do the best I can to build meter.
You can interrupt that too.
Oh yeah, you can.
Ready? Yes.
All day. What I will do many times is once I get my chip trait active, they're one to zone me because they think I'm going to make a mistake, or they'll start to rush me down. If they start to rush me down, it plays into what I want, and I can start armoring and actually getting more damage. If they try to zone me out, then the option that I have there is just build meter where I can, whiff air throws, do grave rots, do whatever I can to build meter. And when I'm building meter, and the timer's about to go, I just activate my X-ray, my super, and it's almost impossible to get away from. It works on the ground, in the air, and when I do that, it gives me a good chunk of their life. And if the timer is right about to go, I take an extra 37%, and now all of a sudden I have the life lead, and they are frantically trying to get to me before the timer runs out. And it's virtually impossible. Especially if I know the holes and all their tricks. So, that's good to know too, especially against Superman at 4-2-3 breath. If you can do that right after breath and you have a bar, just not when he has trait active, you can do it. Yeah, Grundy's worst matchup of the entire game. He's got two of them, in my opinion. Superman, obviously, I think is probably a 10-0 matchup. Might be 9-1. His trait blows up all of Grundy's possibilities because everything Grundy does relies on armor. Superman's fast normals in the neutral game make even his down 2 useless and whiff punishable for 60%. Superman matches Grundy's damage potential in the corner for the bars that he has available. It's probably the worst matchup in the game.
Jesus, that took off 31%.
Because I have my health trait active.
Talk about that.
So the health trait, well, I'll get there. I'll get right back there.
That was dumb.
So then Hawkgirl, everything she does is in the air. Grundy can't grab you if you're in the air unless he does this. That's not easy to do. And down 2's hitbox is so small that it's very difficult for him. I've played Trait Pound many times, and it's very, very difficult. So I'll go back to the traits again. So you know Chip Trait. Power Trait just gives him extra damage. If I do my Power Trait real quick, I'll just show you like one of his BNBs that normally does like 60%. I'll show you what it does with Power Trait. So that's now 34, and I maintain my Power Trait here. 28%. So it's still around 60. I personally don't ever use Power Trait. I feel like it's useless. I would only use it if I do a back 1 into meter burn Grave Rot. So this will be perfect into my next health trait. That combo did 40% damage. So now let me do my health trait, which does the most damage at 31%, 33%. And then you do that combo again.
Oops.
It's only going to do about
31. It'll do 31.
So it dropped about 10% in damage.
Can you get your health trait again? You got it? All right.
Yep.
screwed. And let's try it without. Hang on. So it reduces like by 6, 7, 9%, depending.
So what's really amazing is when you do that at the beginning of a match, and then every single thing they do from now until the end of the match is reduced by a good 5 to 10%. It gives Grundy a much better chance of winning the game against a zoner or somebody that's a lot more mobile than he is.
Do your power chains or health chains or any of those chains eventually go away? How do you make those things go away?
The only way they go away is if I do a different trait grab.
So it could last the whole match?
It always lasts the entire match.
What about after supers or transitions?
It stays.
That's terrible.
That's the way it should be. He needs it.
Buff Grundy my ass.
No, it's Gruff Bundy, dude.
Dude.
All right, now I want to show you guys one more thing. I showed you guys earlier that 2 on hit into Walking Corpse is free. You can get out of it by jumping angled. And I taught you how Grundy can also stuff the jump. But I just want to show you a setup that I use to get extra damage if I'm really behind on life. I need to take a risk or make a read. So let's say I do a normal combo. Here, let me hit you for a second. I'm just going to show you the normal combo. Back 1 into meter burn. If I did it right. Let me just do a naked. I have to do it this way to really show you. Yeah, I suck. Let me show you this. I gotta show it to you. 1-1-2, meter burn, swamp hands. Meter burn, grab. I want you to just take a look at the damage. So it's 68%, not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. Dude, it's 2 bars, man.
Not bad?
2 bars.
Jesus.
Anyway, it's not the point. The point is that I can reset the damage if after the jump 2, I do 2 Walking Corpse cancel. If they don't jump or angle jump, it resets the damage and it becomes unscaled after that. So it was 68% without that. With that, 28. Crap. Crap. I suck, guys. I'm sorry. The climax.
You hit all the harder ones.
I know.
First try.
So it's 28 plus the reset damage. It's 57. So what's 28 and 57?
85.
So by taking a risk, if I'm down in life and I need to take a risk, I need to make a read. Sometimes that's a read that I'll make, and if it works, it pays off in ways that blows your opponent's mind because they could have used their clash early to maintain a life lead, perhaps. And now you can take away 85% of their life with 1 hit. With 1 hit for 2 bars a meter. But it's a risk, it's a read. Because if you angle jump it the right way and I don't punish it properly, you can blow me up.
And you said Gruff Bundy?
I did. I said Gruff Bundy. He needs it, man. He needs it. Now, we've told you all the good things. We told you how to blow him up a little bit. But to get in is very difficult. One of his biggest weaknesses is Walking Corpse canceling on pawn crossover. So if I get crossed up,
You're still
are we still connected?
Yeah.
All right. My alarm went off for some reason. All right. I want you to just jump over me for a second. I have to reverse the inputs of my Walking Corpse in order to cancel it. So if I don't do the right direction, then I'm in a massive whiff state, and I can get punished very, very hard for that. And it's difficult. I noticed that Tyrant uses the hitbox. Maybe he's got something special that he does that I can't do on a pad. Or maybe he's just that much better than me, which is probably really the case. But I have trouble. I get crossed up a lot, and I have to reverse my input last second. And if I mistime it at all, I'm going to get blown up. See, even though he went to jump, I reversed my inputs, but I didn't time it properly. So in the heat of a match, it's very difficult to do. And when you have a character that's jump happy, and you try to do that to get in, it's just very hard sometimes to really make Walking Corpse work for you. Especially when you want to cancel it in down 2, but the cancel never comes out because they cross you up. There you go, take that. Anyways, let's see. I'm going to look at my notes, make sure I didn't miss anything that I wanted to cover. We talked about trait, we talked about bread and butters, we talked about good and bad matchups, how to beat some of them. We talked about zoning, we talked about grave rot setup, we talked about
go back to the character select screen and
anti-air throw setups.
Talk a little bit more about matchups. Just go quickly name some very favorable matchups and even matchups and impossible matchups.
All right, so I already said the most impossible ones. We're talking about Superman and Hawkgirl.
Batman?
Batman is not as bad as those two, but it is bad.
Aquaman?
I think it's very easy.
You think it's easy? Okay.
I do. I mean, his trait doesn't apply to grab. Characters that have moves that do more damage, like Green Lantern's minigun, you can't Walking Corpse through that. So you can Walking Corpse through Deathstroke's guns, and it makes getting in easier. And if you can get your trait grab set up early on,
I mean, I guess it's too early to start naming matchup numbers, but you'd say the hardest matchups would be...
Oh, and Cyborg.
Oh, Cyborg's tough.
Cyborg is up there with Superman. It's almost impossible to get in without taking so much damage that by the time you're there, he grapples away, and it's just a repeat.
Okay. All right, well, let's wrap it up. I gotta...
A crying baby.
We're gonna have this still. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. That was the first episode of the Kryptonite Council featuring Lord of the Fly and looking at an in-depth look at Grundy. Tune in for new episodes. And honestly, I'm probably going to do newer episodes after this new final patch that NRS keeps talking about, or that people keep talking about in the forums and this and that. Everyone keeps talking about, here comes one final patch, so I'll probably do the next episodes after the final patch. So I hope you guys enjoyed. All right, let me do the outro. All right, guys, so that was the first episode of the Kryptonite Academy podcast featuring Lord of the Fly with Grundy. Expect future episodes after the next DLC character, just in case we have a new patch coming that will change the game. But I don't see Grundy changing very much, so that's why I went ahead and chose Grundy for the first episode.
No, dude, they're gonna gruff Bundy.
Don't gruff Bundy.
Gruff Bundy.
But what you guys should do is follow my YouTube channel and Stream of the Hut on twitch.tv. That's twitch.tv/Stream of the Hut, and also at Bam Bam Guitar. And stay tuned to test your mic for future episodes of the Kryptonite Academy. Hope you guys enjoy it, and if there's anything you guys would like me to do differently or not do so much of, or maybe include in future episodes, posts, now would be the time to post as well. All right, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you.